And it's Friday, so we get to have fun. We have two blue teams facing off today. The London Spitfire versus the New York Excelsior.
Timmy and Spark has fallen, which is a good bit of news for NYXL fans.
Yeah, just like a tempo transcendence, but here's an even better tempo. The sound bear engage from the London Spitfire, and Hadi shatters, but the duplicate of Yaki blocks that, and now he's shattering ghosts. He's seeing shadows in the back, not trying to relive any Colosseo nightmare that New York have gone through before. It's been tough for them to really find the composition that works for them when it comes to the New York Excelsior, but at least it does most of the time. Not sure what Kellen's gonna be able to do. I like this push. I wish it was a little bit further up so he could maybe get an environmental, but Floor has great presence on this high ground. Has already sniped two and making a third and a fourth, and we've been excited.
Early, and now Spark has got themselves a little bit of freedom to operate.
Yeah, Yaki's still going to struggle against this long-range part of the map, and New York need to win just back-to-back fights, and it's just, there's no end.
Flora's got to be careful. They could get assassinated here, but Landon's been isolated.
I love this dive from Kellen. Yaki's been trying to put pressure on those supports in the back, but Sparker's positioning just with the ceilings above him, it's made it so hard for the DPS of New York to access London. And with just a few picks, you thought that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel for New York, but London Spitfire on map 1 have the full capture in their sights. Now Kellen is here. You got the zoning discharge shot from Flora as Flora tries to take flanks. Here is a Lucio May push on the right side, and New York need to coalesce on a target, and finally the kills are rolling in. But the respawn advantage for New York, I mean, you gotta thank that, but you're not thankful for 138 meters to 17.
One shot a squishy target with less than 300 HP.
Oh, a nano onto Yaki. He's pressuring down Hadi, who's half HP. He still has armor. His team is on the other side, ready to wall Yaki if he gets too aggressive. But Yaki, he's smarter than that. And Kellen has been dealt with at range. Here's the sound bear in the blizzard. Yaki's not yet frozen and uses the duplicate to preserve his own life. New York have to take this fight. It's overtime, but it's 17 meters to 138. New York are just hoping for a miracle that may never happen. Yaki still dives in the back and trades 1-to-1. That's the best case scenario for him, but Flora has yet to have really an impact against someone like Sparker. So London's rush continues to prevail, and overtime will go away shortly. There's only 2 members of New York Excelsior even alive, and eventually this will fall away. So London Spitfire dominate their map 1.
NYXL to be able to not only set up a safe location, but also set up nades from Gangnam Jin to allow for the eventual dives from NYXL.
Ooh, Kellen just shoved everyone out of the cave, pile drive them, and Flora was in the perfect position to capitalize. This is a brand new. Oh, Kellen is still there. Myungbong in the back. Gangnam Jin above, maybe looking for antis, and Shaq's not going to let it happen. A fantastic pulse on the Flora. Yaki's already used recall. New York are weakened for the moment, but they have not given up. And London have a chunk down Kellen, and they've removed the defense of New York, hoping to hold on to Megapac's side. Poco starting to bully them off. Now he's getting the help from the rest, including a rally from Admiral. London are taking a ton of space. They force Flora off this dominant high ground of this American truck, and Flora is just gonna hope to sweep into the loving arms of some support, but has left Myungbo completely by himself, and Sparker will take advantage. London have paved the way from a 5-minute almost hold on point B to now inches away from C, and it's up to Kellen to contest. He doesn't have mines or health to really do much. He might return. Yaki was left to touch and just completely sniped away.
Safer positions once again when crossing over from their own high ground, and it doesn't look like they are going to get here. So once again, NYXL have problems.
Poco is also completely zoning off Gangnam Jin's position on the cave side that you're seeing off screen. So temporarily no heals for New York, but it doesn't matter when you do more damage. Another great pulse from Yaki. A double kill for the Tracer man. And New York get even more push. Yaki's in the back and has killed the Tracer. London are getting surrounded by New York, but Sparker, he fights back. He's got the overclock. He just killed the supports. And Kellen is 1 HP. He's heading for a pack. Flora will get his revenge, but New York are just running out of wind when it comes to their sails, and they just can't really bark back at London.
Of a Tracer.
Well, Kellen did manage to get the pile drive. Poco responds with the gravitic flux. Nothing on that. So much mobility for New York to dodge that. Transcendence, Nano, and Overclock. Flora starts to dominate. He's already picked off 2. New York need to hold this top left position, and Poco's aware. He's trying to zone them off. He's been pushed back by Kellen, and Flora has killed 4 this fight to make it winnable. Of your heals. He gets packed up though. New York could capitalize on that moment. 8 seconds remaining. Any mistake is going to matter. Landon has become pancakes, and Admiral is left as the only healer of London. They'll take the fight towards the cart. New York don't have any ultimates, but they just have to work together. Flora's already sniped a Sparker. Admiral is gone. London have no heals. London are just sitting ducks to the assault of New York that has completely set Spitfire ablaze, and New York will hold Spitfire halfway to point A. Started overtime. Flora's there on the Reaper. The lethal close range just to burst down Poco. Poco's Discord orbed, but Flora and Yaki just aren't there. Shax and Sparker, they come alive when London needs them the most. New York had a real chance to tie this series, and that is starting to slip away. I don't think London are missing a single person except maybe their Lucio, who's coming back, and it just doesn't matter. New York dead in the water, and London go to series point.
While they may have used one of the things to stop London Spitfire making that commute in the amplification matrix, they also have the overclock and the transcendence as well. Here's Yaki's POV in the replay, finding Sparker, of course, utilizing that leftover amp matrix. It was completely unaccounted for by London, but I think at that point they knew this fight
will initially get London low. They don't have any support else to say anything about it. The grab flux is focused on the Hottie, which will, I think it even maybe got canceled. I didn't see Hottie take that much damage, but it's Sparker that I want to look at. He's already killed the supports, and he's looking for more. London have scooped away this fight. You use the Shatter to lock down Kellen. No tanks, no Flora. 5-on-3. A Blizzard near the doorway that New York want to contest from. It's a Transcendence from Youngblood that keeps only himself but Yaki alive. Flora distances himself from the Blizzard and sees if he can pick away at Hottie. But Kellen and there's just no one. There's like primary fire Adam, so Kellen has to leave and help out on the battle as London were just taking staircase control, and Kellen squashes it. So London are missing 2, and it's just about taking time off the clock because this is just not winnable for London. Except Kellen, and he's trying to push London off the high ground. Hottie commits another shatter just for Kellen. Flora gets in the way. Myungwon uses Transcendence to maybe save people through the shatter engage, but it's too little too late with the close range burst that shatter has. Kellen is gone, and there's the fight back from New York. They nano Flora, who's using overclock. He uses the Maywall from his opposition to actually get a vantage point on the London Spitfire members on the high ground, and New York are turning this fight.
Sieging power here, at least they have their inherent high ground. Hottie's already moving in.
Does as soon as New York think they're safe and just moving forward, London just immediately jumped down, and we've already taken note of this before, of London's New York's DPS from this high ground, and Backbone's been forced to use Ice Block, and Flora's in a position, he counter-rotates away from London, he's overclocking, he's charged up, beefed up, and ready to serve, and London, they throw the Blizzard, but barely have anybody on the cart, so New York, they counter-rotate and push point B and cap.
Oh, my mistake. I thought it was a beat that was died midway through by Admiral, but
kills. New York are trying to hide, and they're doing a good job of doing so, but they're panicking. They've nanoed Flora, who walks into a shatter, but because of the pile drive from Kellen, he almost could have lived, but it's too little and too late. Sparker has found the diff. New York have to get to the end of the map or they will lose the series, and London are in a perfect position to end this series the way that it should have in the first place. They got low on Route 66, but man, Sparker is done playing with this food, and New York have the touch. Yaki's back on the Tracer, and he's confusing London, but it's not enough. New York will not complete the map, and London will take the series 3-0.
A nano target slammed to sleep. We call that one a power nap. Lemon and London have certainly forced NY Excelsior.